Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. Australian Guineas Day if you're Victoria and surround stakes, or very elegant Group One. If you're a Sydney follower. But as always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Very well, Warren. How are you, mate?
Good, good. How good is racing when there's Group Ones involved?
Absolutely. Blue Diamond last week, an absolute cracker. The Japanese came and saluted first and third. The Japanese named horses. Let's go with that at least. No, it was a fantastic day of racing, both in Melbourne and also in Sydney.
Yeah, it was, mate. It had a really good feel out on track. Yeah, different feel. I've never felt the atmosphere. It was good in the members. It was pumping. Yeah, and even the public with H. Grant and Scotty Pimpert in the public, that was pumping too. So no, full credit to Caulfield. It was good racing. Even better when you find a $5 pop for the pineapple, mate.
Well, absolutely, yes. Zugotcha got the chocolates for us, and when I say for us, you picked it too, mate. So you mentioned it last week. It is very scary when we do line up, and it was good to see we did line up because Zugotcha, when it got to around about that 300-meter mark, I was very, very confident it was going to be running past the favourite and saluting, which it did.
Yeah, I was the same, mate. There's nothing better when you just have a bet and then you go a little bit more and a little bit more because someone else likes it. And yeah, I was with you at the 300. I was giggling, going, "Oh my god, this is insane how well this is going." And no, won net well, and yeah, hopefully punters at home got on. I know there was a few well wishes on socials and on track, so thank you. Hopefully you lined your pockets up. But we move over to, well, it was a good weekend of racing. Blue Diamond had a good feel. Mr. Brightside finds another way. Waller finds $30 winners in staying races first up. More Felons, who you gave a massive push in the Melbourne Cup. I was waiting for you to drop it to me when it crossed the line, and when you didn't, I'm like, I'm not texting you because I reckon you might be furious.
Did cross my mind. I couldn't have backed it, but yes. What
But
do you do?
no,
What do you do?
oh, that's it. It was a good feel. It was good racing. But we moved to this Saturday where I'm going to preview Flemington Race 8, the Australian Guineas. Maddie's going to preview Race 8, Randwick, Surround Stakes, I think that is. Bets around the grounds, plenty of those. Multi, we are dead set jinxed, I feel. 2 out of 3 again going into last leg, and the whole way down the straight, Foxy Cleopatra was running a drum, but I think it put up the too hard flag and said, "Not today, boys. We're not getting a collect." But yeah, disappointing because we saw it well and I was confident and I had a good crack at it too. And pineapple of the week, as we mentioned, Matty goes again. It's always in safe hands with you, Matty, and I'm glad I'm not part of it again. Um, if you're a first time listener or watcher on YouTube or any podcast platform, thank you. Hope you enjoy the show. Please subscribe to YouTube or the podcast platform that you are using. When we find you plenty of winners like last week, head over to Spotify. Please rate our podcast. To the ones that have, thank you very much. We really appreciate it because everything we do is free, no hidden paywalls. Yeah, it's all free. We do it for the love of it. So if you like what you see, please head over, rate it, like it, subscribe, get involved. Messaging YouTube in the comments. I'd love to interact with you all. But more importantly, we do a WhatsApp community. We're part of it. If you want to be part of it, DMS, we'll put you straight through. It's a lovely community, good group of guys, and plenty of winners are found each and every day, not by us, by others as well. Yeah, DM one of us. We'll put you straight through. Talking points this week, Matty. Let's start off with the positive. It's rare areas. I think I'm going for a three-peat here of positive outcomes for the MRC. I was out on track on Saturday. Again, Blue Diamond Day had a great feel to it. Credit to them for putting on a great show and atmosphere to everyone that went, pumping in the members. I went and saw the new mounting yard and tie-up stalls and the pre-parade ring there. Wowee, this looks utterly amazing. I can't wait to see it in action on All-Star Mile Day. I hope it looks as good as it does on TV because it's something else when you see it live. Them going under the walkway ramp and coming up through into the mounting yard, and just it's on a slant as well. And I don't know, it's just got a real good feel to it. And I reckon with a semi-packed crowd, it's going to look good. Yes, you're going to have your knockers, your haters about how it looks, but you know what? I'm going to give it a full tick, 10 out of 10. Yeah, there's probably going to be a few little glitches early with where they're going to put the cameras and that, but that's fine. Go and see it in person. I think it accommodates for everyone, including young kids. They can sit up high, stand up high, and see the horses and their jockeys walk around. Maddie, anything else to add on a beautiful parade ring?
Yeah, mate, I mentioned it a few weeks ago. I was out at Caulfield, and I thought exactly the same. Can't wait to take the kids out there and sit up high, watch the horses roam around, and then walk out with them as they get out onto the track. So I think you're going to find a flurry of people just walking from one side of the track to the other side of the track to see the horses parade, which doesn't usually happen for the majority of people who go to the races. So I think what they've done there is absolutely fantastic. As I said, I compare it to Shartin. When I was out there, I thought that was next level, and I think Caulfield have exceeded that.
Yep. I think the only knock it will be the members that are involved at the club. They have to walk to go get there, where at the moment they could just walk straight out. But I'm happy to walk. I'm happy to go see it. What you see out the back, you're elevated above the tie-up stalls. I'm happy to go walk and go see it because I'm going to enjoy it. And kudos to MRC, they've done a great job.
Absolutely.
I don't know if this is semi-negative about MRC or what, but there's a lot of chat on track about this track on Saturday. The words are described were burn the joint down. It's a shithole. It's a disgrace of a track. Now, if you're a listener of us, we identified 4 meter rail is a leaders track, and it's previously been like that on Blue Diamond Day. Yes, 6 winners, one sitting top 2 in run, lanes 1 and 2, and then 2 winners as well were rails in run. So yes, but they were pretty slow tempoed races, and horses up front got their own way. The Blue Diamond winner came down the middle, sort of, but then I was hearing on Saturday or later Monday that they air rated 7 meters and out. Now, for me, why would you do that and not be open and transparent? I didn't hear that anywhere. I got it from a good source that is part of MRC. Oh, that's what it just shits me. As a punter, why aren't you open and transparent so everyone has all the info and you can make your decisions on all the info? Not, I think you said in pre-production, Matty, 7 and out is a good zone to be if you want to run on, and you couldn't make ground. And just a bit frustrating for me.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. But the other point as well is 7 out of the 10 races were 1,400 metres and below. Yep. 1,400 metres and below at Caulfield, you want to be in the first 4 or 5 horses. So no real surprise that 6 out of the 10 races, horses weren't running on. No real surprise there. But yeah, in a few of the races, to your point, or what we discussed earlier, generally speaking, once you do get beyond lane number 7, you're able to make ground. It's usually the best part of the track at Caulfield. Look, would be nice to know that information prior. Look, I was probably a little bit surprised as well. I thought they probably would have watered the inside, or lane 4 it would have been, which was the rail. I thought they would have watered that a little heavier than what they did to even out the track. But overall, I thought it played like Caulfield does.
Yeah. Do hunters need, I know I said they need more info, but do they need to put it on their socials and just say, I know there's a few people that do it already saying, hey, lanes 1 and 2 are going to be good here, winning at 33%. Like we do it here sometimes on our show. But do we need it on track? Do we need it out there more so punters, Sportsbet do it on their shows on .com on the Saturday or whatever day they telecast? Sportsbet give those numbers, but Do we need it on track to make more punters educated or making better decisions?
Look, you can, but it comes down to a number of factors. I mean, the wind can change direction
Yep.
midday, and it can be a leaderish bias to a run-on bias. You can have, I mean, as I mentioned, the distance of the races makes a huge difference, especially at Caulfield. Anything around that 1400 metre and below, you definitely want to be sitting forward of midfield. So, look, I think there's some things that people can take into consideration. But generally speaking, when people aren't happy after a race, they are talking through their pockets.
Yep, 100%. And yeah. One thing they don't have on track, Matty, and they need to bring it back, is the windsock. Caulfield they have got rid of it. I want a petition signed to bring back the windsock, because I went out there for a race and I'm like, oh, which way's the wind going? There was no fucking windsock, and I was really disappointed, because that's my favourite time to go to the races and have a look at the windsock. So
come on, mate. You've played enough golf. Just
throw a bit of manure in the air, let it get the wind, catch it. But no, Caulfield, bring back the fucking windsock, please. That's my negative for you. Last point for the show here is I think a positive week for the media in Victoria. Now, you can watch RSN radio show on YouTube live. I love this move, because you can now stream this on your TV, your tablet, your phone. You can watch Racing Pulse with Michael Felgate between 8:30 and 11:30 on YouTube. I noticed you can also listen to Racing Pulse via racing.com now. Now, remember, I reckon a couple of months ago, I did say .com and RSN should join forces and, use the personnel from .com and RSN. And, we know Felgate's been working on .com Saturday mornings, and that's a good show as well. But I think they should be using RSN on .com Channel 78 most mornings and broadcast RSN shows on the TV. It's a no-brainer. I think it will work for both parties, but they just haven't done it yet. But they're going in the right direction. If they do this, I think it'll be a game changer for .com and RSN. They did it with Sky Channel and a Sydney radio back in the day, but that got the arse. But I think this is the step in the right direction. So yeah, rsn.com, good start. Track stats: rail 2 meters on Saturday at Flemington. Every horse will get their chance. Lanes 4 to 7 going up 44% in the circle races. Horses down the straight, I think they come down the middle, and be looking for horses up on speed. Do note there is going to be a southerly at Flemington, which will make it very, very hard to run on. So keep an eye on the windsock at Flemington. I know they've got one, so we can trust them. Matty, race 8, Surround Stakes, 1,400 metres, Group 1. You want to preview this?
I do, mate. Yeah, up in Sydney. Thought should be previewing the Group 1 up there. Well, I mean, in terms of speed, look, Tropical Squall is definitely the one I think will be out in front. The ones I wanted to speak about here in the market, and the ones up the top are definitely the ones in the market. They're mainly the ones I'll be talking about. I might as well start with Tropical Squall, who'll be setting the pace in this race. First up since the VRC Oaks. Obviously, this horse needs further, but very, very positive is its form over the 1,400 and 1,600, plus also first up. So for whatever reason, a lot of these horses in this field do need a little bit further. We'll be getting back running on. If Tropical Squall does get its sway out in front from barrier number 2, and there isn't too much pressure on, don't be surprised if it's there right in the finish. So around about that $7, $8 mark, I think it definitely needs to come into consideration. Going down the page, look, Komochi was very impressive last start, and I think the ride on it was absolutely perfect. Where it beat both Learning to Fly and also Christy Lee. Now, it will need to be at its best here to be winning this race. $6, look, probably slightly unders, around about the right price. But yeah, Komochi definitely need to be taken into consideration. Learning to fly, Chad Schofield on board. Now, I did hear a fact, I can't remember it, but it's been something like around about 3 years. You might have the exact.
2014 since he's won a Group 1.
Well, there you go. Not 3 years, 10 years since Chad's won Group 1. So we'll take that into consideration. But all the best to Chad. Hopefully he can break through. But look, this is the horse in the field to beat. Arguably should have won last start against Komochi. Probably just got a little bit too far back, ran on exceptionally well. Tis Invincible was also in that race, and from a wide gate, it only had one decision, and that was to go back. Ran on okay, but I think it's the one in the field that can definitely improve. Couple further down the page, Arctic Glamour. Now, Worm, if this drew an inside gate or a middle gate, it would definitely be under strong consideration. Right up to the likes of Learning to Fly, Komochi, and Tis Invincible, the wide gate has very much turned me off this horse. Now, you might want to have a small player included in your multiples or your quaddies, but I think it's going to be quite difficult for Arctic Glamour to be overcoming that wide gate. And for that reason, I can't be on it. Another one we mentioned, Billy Egan heading up there, which I thought was quite strange. I can't remember the last time Billy headed up to Sydney, but he finds himself on Roll on High. Worm, do you remember this horse?
Yeah, it sat last at Caulfield, or Flemington over the 4-day carnival, and won by a length, and was touted to go to the 1,000 guineas, but they pulled up stumps early to look after it.
Yeah, so we haven't seen too much since then, have we?
No.
No. So, look, again, one to have a look at, and I certainly did. And the main negative I find on the horse is, again, barrier number 11. If it drew a middle gate, I think at around that $13 mark, you definitely need to take it into consideration. They were the main chances I saw in the field. How I'll be playing this, I definitely have Learning to Fly on top. So Chad to break his 10-year drought. I think from barrier number 6, it doesn't sit too far off Tropical Squall, doesn't give it too much of a lead, and we'll be able to run past it. Tropical Squall obviously needed a little bit further than the 1400 here. Well, the other bet I want to be having here is Tis Invincible. I can't let that run around at $657. I think Tis Invincible is the one that's going to improve significantly. Last start, it was a wide gate, went back. Here it fights itself. James McDonald on board, barrier number 5. It'll be stalking Learning to Fly. Unless it gets the jump on it, Learning to Fly will stalk it. But those are the two that I want to be playing in this race. Worm, if it is any type of bias, I'm not expecting it to be with the rail in the true position. Then you do definitely need to be including Tropical Squall in your numbers. How did you see this one?
Yeah, mate. When you talked about Roll on High, I dived a bit deeper. When it won at Flemington over the 4-day carnival, it beat Komochi that day. Yeah, the SPs are quite different. At SP $12 that day, and I reckon Komochi was favourite. So it's still the same pretty much. But also, if you go back to Bendigo, 1,500 metres, he got rolled just by Aztec State, who I have a big opinion of, and failed on Melbourne Cup Day. So, yeah, if he drew an inside draw, I'd be keen to be with. But Moody Coleman aren't firing first up like the old Moody days. So I think they might have changed their regime, but happy to keep an eye on this horse. 100% agree with you with Tis Invincible, mate. It will improve. It had barrier 10 last start, was ridden with no intent. J-Max stays on, gets 5. Last prep, it was ridden closer than what it was last start. I can't believe we're getting 650. So I'm going to take a piece of that for sure. Tropical Stroll, well, glad you mentioned it. Trialled well, and typical Waterhouse bot trial. Can see why it's 750 off the trials, and especially last prep runs. Zadozi is the one I'm going to watch with Roll on High with good, keeping a real good eye on these. Won the Oaks well in November, we know. Keen to see how this horse come back. Liked its trials. Keen to see this horse 1,600 metres plus, especially 2,000, because I think it does have some talent that is a dozy, but keen to be with Tis Invincible. Nothing else to add.
No, mate. Yeah, look, Zebosi. I mean, I probably should have mentioned the VRC Oaks winner, shouldn't I?
Yeah, but it's easy to let him go, and we know it's not grand final day. We know we're looking for the flashing light to see how it comes back. But yeah, going just to mention its jump outs, it's been good. But yeah, I'm keen to just watch with that horse, not have a scent on like I would with some roughies. This one, I'm keen to just put him in my black book now because I think he'll be that flashing light.
No, 100%. If this was over 1600, would have definitely been in consideration. Plus, also would have expected James McDonald to be on if he thought he was a winning chance.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, yep. That's something to keep an eye on, I think, because J-Mac does have the monopoly over anyone in this Sydney racing. All right, I'm going to preview race 8, the Australian Guineas, Group 1, 1,600 metres. Speed map. I've got the Pendragon leading here, and I think I feel it will be uncontested and will have it its own way up front. V8, Hey Fat Cat, Otago will get the gun runs. Cap Foray from 2. I hope they use it and hunt up and be midfield. Riff Rocket, King Colorado, they'll be 3 wide, but they'll have cover. But they might be just a little bit worse than midfield as the pace. There's a lot of pace on their inside, so there's going to have to be a smart move by one of those 2 jockeys if they're going to roll forward. They'll need a 12 out of 10 ride for a forward spot. Now, one thing I've highlighted here, 1,600 metre start here. It's 150 metres roughly before you start turning, and it continues until the home straight. So I'm going to be looking for the map horse here and looking for horses very close to that rail, because if the southerly's starting to kick up, it's going to be very hard to make ground. Now, I'm happy to be with V8 here. I know I've been a knocker, but sometimes you've got to let things go, and this is it. I've got to let it go. Here's why. This horse jumps, it will land outside leader, worst case behind the leaders. I know I'm not a fan of this horse, but this horse reminds me of Hey Doc back in the day. 1,600s will be absolute maximum, but take this to the bank. This horse can win a Manikato later in the year because it reminds me of what Hey Doc did. And this is the same setup. Guineas into a Manikato Cardo later in the year. Now, I love this horse's most recent run, CFL Stakes. Only went down by 1.3 to Mr. Brightside, who franked that form on Saturday. 19 days since its last run is no concern to me because it was a brutally run race for second up. Now third up. Beautiful, ticking over nicely. First up was good. Won the 1,200 metre race. I think $8 is an absolute great price to get involved. I'm going to go 1x4, very heavy to place. If the track is favouring horses on speed, then I think we've got to take a piece of this $8 now because it won't be $8 come race time. Cap Foray, I like this horse last start, and watching the replay, it showed me no intent early, and it ran beautifully. I'm hoping from 2 they can be using that barrier from 2 and no worse than midfield because $60 is a crazy odds. Watch its last 400 metres last start. Got left flat-footed on a very slow tempo, and its last 200 was good. And matched motors with Riff Rocket and King Colorado. Happy to keep following this horse because he's got a big one in him. Riff Rocket, King Colorado deserve to be fave and second fave. They were huge wins and second first up runs. Can't fault them, but it's a purely map decision for me here. I don't have these on top, but if you like them, they're clear dangers, and I won't talk you out of them. It's just a map decision for me on this. And I did say King Colorado won't win another race. Zip Away. I think this horse is flying under the radar here. Third in the Group 1 Northerly at Ascot. Winner was Dom to Shoot, who finished 4th on Saturday behind Mr. Brightside in the Futurity. Its first up run, I thought it was better than what it looked and read. Love this horse's last 150, and through the line was huge. $19. I think this horse goes into your exotics if you're a player because it's going to run a big race. Barrier 10. Could be a little bit sticky, but I'm confident Stevie Parnham can get this into a nice race and run maybe second or third. Matty, any thoughts?
Look, Riff Rocket's certainly the horse to beat here. Draws barrier number 9. I think we'll probably get a good enough run and be very, very hard to beat. Mate, I'm very glad to hear that I've talked you around on V8. It has been a while, so good to see you've joined the party there. I think this is a quality horse, and from barrier number 6, it's going to get the run of the race. So 750, I'll definitely be taking a piece of that. Now, William, can I just ask you, please, to put $1 on a horse for me? I can't let you let a Targo run around without you putting $1 on it. If that salutes and you're not on board, we will never hear the end of it.
There has been a tendency of late of horses that I've backed previously and made a recommended bet that they've gone on to win next start. And
Yes.
I'm keeping a close eye on it. And I thought, no one's going to notice, but clearly you've been watching. I can't be with him, mate. He had the run of the race last start.
No, I know, but I think they'll have him set for this now. You can't make too many excuses from the last start, but maybe he gets a little bit more cover here. And I think Benny Mallon's on board, doesn't hit the go button until a little bit later. But I think the horse has certainly got some talents. So please just pop $1 on it. At 17s, I can't let you let that run around without putting a buck on it.
Let's talk come race time. Yeah, a lot can happen between now and then. But no, I'm happy to leave him alone. But yeah, if you want to take the piss out of me, punters, yeah, go and do it. You'll win more than doing that. Yeah, ripping race. I know it's not a lot of it's not the best edition of an Australian Guineas, but there's some potential to be. I think it might be a good form race coming out. And Matty just nods his head. Yep. All right. We'll move over to around the grounds. Matty, what are we doing around the grounds?
All right. We'll kick off race number 1 when we come to Flemington. Now, I'm imagining that Tim Tookie is going to be running in Sydney. But I'm not going to be with Tim Tookie here. I'm going to be with Cinderella Days. Now, Cinderella Days has been running in group races. Not only has it been running in group races, been running exceptionally well first up. If you go back to February this time last year, ran in a Group 2 race, ran third to In Secret and Sunshine in Paris. Next prep, first up, ran 4th in a Group 3, Parasol, Queen of the Ball. Now, I'm looking down this page here, Worm. It's not a bad field. I'm not going to knock the field, but I'm not seeing any horses to that level. Unless Tim Tookie's here, I think he could potentially challenge Cinderella Days. Now, my only question marks on the horse would be change of stable, going to Graham Begg. This is first up after a couple of jump outs and trials and first time down the straight. But outside of that, it is definitely the horse I want to be with at 370, first up at Flemington.
Yeah, she has jumped out really well, and I gave it a real good push off the jump outs, mate. So if you do like it, punters, and want to follow Matty in, I think you can bet with confidence.
Very nice. We'll jump to race number 7, Estrella. We're around about that $4 mark at the moment. This looks like a very nice sprint race for her. Look, big field. Yep. I don't think there's too much depth to this particular race. So I'm quite happy here to be with Estrella. I think it sets up exceptionally well for it and expect Estrella to be right in the finish around about that $4 mark. We'll head up to Sydney. Now, there are some shorties running around on Saturday, which makes it somewhat hard to bet into. The one that I didn't mind from a shorty perspective was our Kobe Sun in race number 2, about $1.90. I did say you can get up to $1.95. I'm sure you'll be able to get $2 at some stage. I see our Kobe Sun getting the job done there in race number 2. Then we'll go to the last race, Worm, Golden Mile. Now, it had excuses last race. The steward's report mentioned that it got back to the stables and was coughing and was short of breath. Blinkers go on. Stable is very confident that it's going to be running well. And at the price of $11, $12, Worm, I can't let Golden Mile run around without having a piece of it. So $11, blinkers on. I'll have a piece of Golden Mile in race number 10. Worm, how did you see your around the grounds?
I just want to touch on two things you've mentioned. Race 10 Randwick. I think that's going to be a
Yes.
ripper race. New Energy. I gave that a push and a Cox plate. He's first up. Kovalika's running. I'm keen to see that go to a Caulfield Cup, maybe. um, but yeah, I think that's a really hot race, and it's a great way to end the card. And might be a few winners out of that race, especially Golden Mile on Saturday. The other little interesting thing here, Flemington Race 7 is the Inglis Sprint. Now, I've got two little interesting things here. This race is worth $1 million. 550 to the first. Now, I really hope Inglis has footed the prize money for all of this, because this race is worth more than the Australian Guineas. So, no, they're the same. They're exactly the same. My fault. I just double checked. But they shouldn't be exactly the same, because Australian Guineas is a stallion making race, and this English Sprint is lucky to be a benchmark 70 race. Just a bit weird. I really hope Racing Victoria haven't put in too much, and it's all English. If English is supporting it 100%, I'm all for it. But if Racing Victoria footing half of this, it is really disappointing and needs to be called out. Hope I'm wrong. The other interesting here. So English race is for horses that have been bought at English Premier Sales.
Makes sense.
Now, all it's a 19 field. 18 of them were purchased when they were won and a bit at the sales. Number one here was sold by Coolmore to Darley at the English online sales, because Coolmore didn't want it after a couple of preps. Now, is that a rort that hasn't been tightened, and they've found a loophole? Congratulations if you found the loophole, and good luck to the owners and, everyone involved. But surely this is wrong. It doesn't sit well with me. This horse is proven before it even was purchased at Inglis, where all these were little babies, 1.5, one getting paraded around, and all here. It just doesn't sit well for me. And good luck to the owners. Hope you take it away and win well, and found a little loophole. There's nothing better getting in a loophole. But
Well, it probably won't reflect too well on Inglis if they need a Cornwall horse to be winning their races.
yeah, and it was purchased in November last year by Bjorn
Okay,
Baker and Derby. Now,
didn't know that.
not bagging them. If they've found the loophole, good on them. But it just doesn't sit well for me for the other 18 competitors that have been bought before two and unraced. My around the grounds. Let's go. Randwick race 7. Very elegant. We're going to be with Fangirl on top, but we're going to play same race multis. So we're going to have Fangirl on top. We're going to have Buckaroo and Lindemann both to run top 4. I'm going to play them in 2 separate bets. Buckaroo in one, Lindemann in the other. And you know what? Let's make it 3, and both of them run top 4 for the all big result. We know what Fangirl did last start. It was impressive, but I think these two horses ran well and have flown under the radar. They both went back, Buckaroo and Lindemann, both unlucky, both coming out of the same race. So I'm keen how they go second up here, and I'm just keen to have little small plays on same race multis. Fangirl to win, Buckaroo and Lindemann top 4. Morphettville race.
Glad you added some more to that race than just Fangirl.
Sorry.
So, otherwise, it would have been very insightful just tipping Fangirl.
Well, mate, we just tip winners here. So $1.50, just put it in the bank, put it on the board, tick it down, bang. But yeah, and you know what? Let's make it 4 bets. Let's take Buckaroo and Lindemann just to run both top 4 without Fangirl to win, just in case. I'd hate to get it wrong. So let's have 4 plays there, guys. There's 4 bets. Stake them accordingly. Morphettville, race 2. We're going to have a lay here. I haven't laid it. I know I mentioned a few lays on Caulfield, and I'll blow my own trumpet. I was 4 from 4 on my lays, so you got involved, punters. Well played. So we're going to go again. We're going to lay race 2, number 7, Morphettville, Lingani, coming out of a race at King's Coit. Do you know where that is, Matty?
I haven't been to the King's Quay Race Club, no.
Okay. I have no fucking idea where that is. I know it's somewhere in Adelaide, but I have no idea. So to me, I think it's a picnic race. So yes, the win looked impressive. It was quicker than benchmark on the day for Langini. So it ticks every box. But as I said, I think it was a picnic meeting. It was 1,000 meters, now up to 1,400. That's not an ideal prep. And they're asking you to take 360. I'm going to lay this until it hurts. I feel Sentimental Flame, who is coming off listed race last prep, and Global Turn, whose maiden win was huge, and next start made ground at Morphettville Parks, where it's hard to make ground, both $3.30 and $5. These horses have better form and better well rated than Langani. So lay, race 2, number 7, Langani. Matty, I am going to live dangerously because I got done Cal up. So we're going to go Fangirl the win, $1.55. And we're going to go over to the New Zealand Derby at Elsley, race 9, Orchestral. I've heard big things about this horse. I've even heard the trainer say it's better than Silent Achiever. Now, that is a big call. He's $1.50 to win New Zealand Derby. When he wins this, I think he wins all the big Sydney races when he comes over. So take it to the bank. Orchestral, big horse, big things. There might too. Matty, you're throwing in?
Mate, we will go Flemington race number 7, Australia, the place. And also race number 8 in Sydney, Learning to Fly, the place as well.
Beautiful. So that's Orchestral, $1.50 to win. Fangirl, $1.55 to win. Learning to Fly, $1.45 to place. And Australia, $1.80 to place. It comes to $6. So 4-leg multi, $6. Two other around the grounds I forgot to mention, Matty. NRL kicks off in Las Vegas Sunday. I'm going to take both of the games to go under 40 points.
Okay.
The ground is 5 meters smaller in width, and I'm hearing the players found it very hard to get through the defense. So I know 5 meters isn't a lot, but it's going to be for rugby. So I've heard judges say the line should be 28.5, and they're currently at 40. So on Sunday, when you win a lot of money through our podcast, I reckon they're the two bets you can have it around $1.90 each, or $3.60 in a multi.
All right.
So yeah,
Can I have a bet over in Vegas as well?
what, the players don't come back?
No. Have you got the line for the number of players that are incarcerated while they're over in Vegas? I reckon the line's probably 5.5.
There'll be some good stories to come back from them, I reckon. And no wonder they're swapping teams each year.
No. All the best to them. Honestly, great to see them
Growing the game.
growing the game, but actually living outside their comfort zone as well. I think it's good to see.
And I was even hearing that they're looking to get the NFL players that don't make the draft to come down and do the NRL combine sort of thing to get them
Fantastic.
ready. So smart move by the NRL. They're finally waking up and thinking outside the square.
No, I do like it. Well played by them, and I think they'll get a fairly big audience as well. What's the time that it's going to be played
So it'll
over
be
here?
1:30 and 3:30. So it'll be probably 8:30 and
Oh, that's
10:30
okay.
at night?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
10:30 and yeah. But yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see how the fans react over there. I know there's a few flown over from Australia for it, but good on them. It'll be good spectacle come Sunday. Hung over on the
Indeed.
couch watching. Right, the all important pineapple, Matty. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say you can't have Orchestral or Fangirl in there.
Okay.
We are above $1.80. We have to be, or $2 in sometimes, depending. So you've gone $5 last. Are we going around $10? Are we going to double the odds, or are we going to, we're confidence is high.
Look, there are some short-priced horses running around up in Sydney, there's a few running around at Flemington as well. So it makes the job a little bit more challenging. But when we are going to head up to Royal Randwick, and we're going to go to race number 9. Now, this is a horse that we mentioned last time it ran around. Didn't get the chocolates. Now, the only reason it didn't get the chocolates in its first start was because we were on the winner. Any idea? I'll give you a hint. We're on the winner, Samana, and Alintia is running around in race number 9. Now, we did say that it needed to get out from 1200 out to a further distance, out to 1400 here. I think it will be suited. Tommy Barry on board, Barry number 3. As long as he doesn't get into any trouble like he did across that 1200 metres, I think we can be very confident in Olintia getting the job done second up. And that is what I'm quite comfortable to be on, right about that 230, 240 mark at the moment. So no $5 at this weekend, but I'm very confident that Olintia will be right in the finish and should be saluting.
No, beautiful, mate. I like it. Winning form is good form. Yeah, it's a nice race. And well played. Any final thoughts on a big weekend of racing?
It is. And as you said, there's some very good races, whether it be the last race in Sydney or the first race at Flemington. I think we've got some very good metro racing this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. I'm keen to dive into the Sydney card a bit later tomorrow and try and pick apart some more winners and be part of the community, and you can find out of what Matty likes over the weekend or whatever I like. That's it, mate. It's All-Star Mile next Saturday, I think.
Is that next Saturday?
No, it'll be Newmarket, then All-Star Mile.
Yeah, that sounds better. Yep.
I got it mixed up. But thank you for joining again, Matty, as always. Punters, like, subscribe, swipe left, swipe right, however you want to play it. More importantly, gamble responsibly. And we'll be back next week for Newmarket Stakes Day, or